Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. I'm a bit late today. I've been reading up on the subject matter of today's reading. That is the court case, one of the many court cases that Harry is involved in at the moment. The case against NGN, that is the Sun newspaper, the group that publishes the Sun, among other things that the group does. And of course, it's the phone hacking, illegal information gathering case, and it has taken a rather strange twist in the last few days when it emerged that Harry might have been involved, according to the screaming news headlines, and we'll throw in an allegedly. He might have allegedly been involved, or his legal team might have been involved, in the destruction of evidence. That's the blaring headline that went around the world. When it emerged that the defendants in this case were very unhappy with the level of discovery that had been made, and there was a hearing about it. Harry's been charged with 60,000 rand costs, pounds, sorry, not rands, pounds, a whole lot more than 60,000 rands, 60,000 pound costs for the day's hearing, which he has to pay, and he has to go home and he has to write a witness statement explaining how this discovery process has gone so horribly wrong. Because what seems to have happened is that a whole bunch of documents that might have been relevant to the case have been destroyed in the time period of 2021 to 2023, which was when the case was already well underway. And just to give it some context, what this is all really about is about limitation periods. They have 6 years from the date of discovery of the wrongdoing, in this case the hacking or whatever it was, to bring a case. And if there was knowledge prior to that date, then that's an absolute defense to the case, and the case can get chucked out. So it's about timing. It's about limitation periods. And the defense that the newspaper is trying to prove, and that's why they want these documents to search through, is that Harry knew about this a long time ago. Basically, he might have discussed it with his ghostwriter. It might have been discussed by the royal household, because of course other members of the royal family also had their phones hacked and settled their cases out of court. So it's all looking pretty bad. Also looking pretty bad is the fact that Harry himself, old Dumbo, dim-witted Harry, was left alone by his legal team to conduct the searches through all these documents, hard drives, WhatsApp messages, emails, Signal conversations, pings, or whatever's that have all been deleted. Was left to do it all by himself away in California, and managed to produce all of 5 possibly relevant documents. The mind boggles. And so let's have a look. I have the Edgar Allan Poe tarot on the tarot table for this one. It's a dark tarot. It's quite a sinister, conspiratorial tarot type of deck. We want to know what's really going on here with these documents destroyed accidentally or possibly deliberately. What's Harry perhaps trying to cover up by not discovering these documents, not making them available to the newspaper? A lot of it seems to be about Spare and previous drafts of Spare. Maybe there were things in there that were subsequently deleted. Those have all been deleted, which is very unusual, apparently. So Celtic Cross coming up. What's going on? Harry's point of view. What is happening? What perhaps might he be trying to hide? Was stuff deleted deliberately? Tell us in the past energy about the actual search process that he undertook. What's happening next? The royal household is now being dragged into the case because they're being asked to have a look, go and look through old records to perhaps find relevant information. And Mo Ringer himself, the ghostwriter, might be dragged into this at some point, because he, of course, was around and having those conversations with Harry, knows what was in the previous drafts of Spare. It's all looking pretty bad. A few more shuffles, a long ramble, but it is a complex issue, and I hope I've got my facts straight as I try and do this reading, and because I can't just launch into it without us all knowing completely, well, not completely, I can't pretend to know completely what's going on, but I need to have at least some idea of what's going on. It does indicate to me that Harry might have some disregard for the legal process, for the law, perhaps even for the truth, and we're going to ask about that in this tarot reading. And let's remind you, one more shuffle, that this is just, oh yeah, now we're getting there. It is just a tarot reading. It is for fun and entertainment. It is all speculation. It is all my opinion. And I just read energy here on this channel. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please do your own research, form your own opinions, and let us see, what the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot has to say about this really quite startling twist in this tale. I think Harry, my personal opinion, while I'm laying out the Celtic crosses, that he sued thinking that they would offer him a ginormous settlement, more than Prince William got, and then he'd be able to say, see, I one-upped you. But it hasn't quite gone like that. The newspaper is really pushing back very hard. There is Harry, the hermit, all alone in this tale, because he is really all alone. Although some people speculate that the king might be covering his court costs, and we're going to look at that quickly in the next little reading. But there he is, all by himself. Isn't it interesting? That's where he is. He's in California. There's the beach. There's the... That's rather a funny hat, because it does look a bit like those Australian hats, and I'm sorry, I don't know what they're called. I think they have their own name. He wore in Texas, he went to the rodeo quite a long time ago, and he wore inappropriately one of those Australian hats, and people mocked him mercilessly for it. But there he is, he's on the beach in California. There are the palm trees, there's the sunset, and there he is by himself, having to deal with this rather onerous task of searching through documents, deciding what's relevant, what he wants people to know about, what he doesn't want people to know about. Possibly, that's speculation, of course, situation, Harry's point of view. 10 of Pentacles. It's a big money card. It's you wouldn't there's scarab beetles, so yes, and treasure maps, the 10 of Pentacles in this dark tarot. So yeah, money. It's about legacy. It's about big payday, and the big payday, of course, was Spare, was his deal with Penguin Random House. It was a 4-book deal. We've only seen 1 1/4 books really, because Has Been Spare came out, and then the bench sort of limped out before. It was a rather rickety bench, and nobody has really taken much notice of it since. But the big payday, 10 of Pentacles, and a whole lot might have happened to justify that big payday, to make the book more spicy, perhaps, draft after draft, inject some more scandal, some more blame, some more anecdotes, some more spicy stuff, and perhaps some of that is in the land of make-believe. We don't know, we can only speculate, but it's about the money. It's about the big payday, 10 of Pentacles. And of course, the royal family was the subject of the big payday, because it was cast aspersions at your family, why don't you? And we'll pay for the dirt. Really, that was the sentiment that seemed to be behind a lot of what was written. My opinion, and not just my opinion, I don't think. Problem for Harry now, what's going on? 3 of Swords, that's a tragic moment in his life. Heartbreak, loss, betrayal even. With the 3 of Swords, real pain. Coughing dog, we have to stop. Right, strange thing is that really happens mostly when I'm doing tarot. Anyway, he's fine. He's just very, very old. Three of Swords. Three of Swords is about betrayal, as I was saying. And of course, in order to make that big payday, the Ten of Pentacles, Harry betrayed everyone, just about. He betrayed his lady love. He betrayed his father, his stepmother, his brother, his sister-in-law, his country, perhaps even people that he served with, you could say. That's my opinion, of course. And there it is. There's the betrayal, the Three of Swords. And perhaps that is what's lurking. That is what is around in the stuff that has been destroyed. But let's see. Let's see what's going on in the hidden energy. What perhaps, we're speculating, my opinion, did he want to hide? What's in there that he doesn't want people to know about? And we got the Knight of Cups, Prince William. Some people are saying, speculating, it's all speculation, that he rewrote some of the stuff, the William stuff, wrote it to make it look worse and worse. For instance, the nasty uniform that he wore to that fancy dress party that hit the headlines all those years ago. And he in his book, in the final version that we saw, blamed William and Catherine. They made him do it. They laughed. They said, yes, of course, it looks great. Off you go to the fancy dress in the nasty uniform. Of course, there was the dog bowl episode, the broken necklace, all of that. Knight of Cups is Prince William. The bigger bedroom, the sausages, you know the drill. So it's really how much of the William hate, where did it come from? Was it spiced up, layered on, draft after draft after draft? It's interesting that Moring has spent some time at Mudslide Mansion in the guest cottage, and Madame would go and hang around with him and bring him treats and tea and whatever else, trays of food, hang around perhaps. And we speculate about this, and I do recall reading on this. Some people speculate that some of Spare might actually have been helped along by Madame, shall we just say. Some of the language seemed suspiciously word salady, for instance. So that is what's down in the murk, that he is perhaps not very keen on people discovering. And so let's see now the tricky question, and this is all allegedly, we're just doing tarot. Was this done deliberately? Was this evidence destroyed deliberately? Tell us about that. I've got the Knight of Swords. That's a ruthless energy. It's got someone with a sort of a stiletto knife thing in his hand, daggery kind of a thing. The Knight of Swords is very strategic, very sharp-witted, very quick. It could be, and I'm just throwing this out here as a speculative energy, the Knight of Swords could be a lawyer kind of a person, maybe a minion that might have encouraged this behavior. Pure speculation, I don't know. But the Knight of Swords is about wit, is about strategy, is about doing something very quickly. It's not underhand energy. I have to make that very clear, the Knight of Swords. But it can be very strategic. It can be very cold in its conduct. Let's just do this. Let's just make this swift maneuver for strategic reasons. That's the energy that's coming off the Knight of Swords. Swords are about law. They're about words. They're about procedures, thought processes, strategies. So you have, because this person is sitting in what looks like almost a lawyer's office with all those bound volumes behind him, oldie worldy kind of lawyer, of course, it does give me that energy. And of course, I am just reading energy and expressing my opinion here. So let's look at the past. When old has been, out in California, Surfing USA, was doing those searches. Tell us about it, whatever universe wants to tell us, how it went. I've got the Four of Wands in reverse. It's the happy home card when it's upright. You wouldn't think so with this particular depiction. So sort of an offering there with those 4 wands. But this is a dark tarot, obviously. It's a tarot of intrigue. That's why we're using it, because it possibly has been some form of intrigue going on here. 4 of Wands is about happy home. In reverse, and celebration and weddings and marriages and things like that. The firm, also the 4 of Wands. The firm in its sense of stable, but to do with celebrations, processions and marches and events and ceremonies and jubilees and all that kind of stuff. It's in reverse. So it's giving me layers of information. It's telling me unhappy home. He might have felt the distance between himself and his blood family, the royal family, that he'd been cut loose by them and didn't owe them any sort of loyalty. The broken home thing might be closer to home, might be his marriage that was in trouble. But it's really giving me a sense of his discontent with the royal family, his separation from the firm, being cut off from them, left out of all the happiness, the half in, half out thing that never happened. And so possibly motivated by some sort of discontent. I could use a much stronger word than discontent, but for obvious reasons I'm going to go with that word. Let's look at the near future. What is going to happen? Are we going to see Mo Ringer called in to produce documents? Are we going to see the royal household involved? What is going to happen next? All we know so far, Harry's got to go home and write his statement. These people are being contacted, however that works. I don't know what's going to happen next. Oh, we got the Four of Swords in reverse. No rest for the wicked. That's the Four of Swords in reverse. Upright, time out, prayer, reflection, healing, isolation. We already got isolation here with the Hermit. That has been left to his own devices. The Hermit is someone who really is left to his own devices, just by the way. Here we've got somebody who can't rest, who can't find peace, who should perhaps take some time out and go and think deeply about the things that they have done wrong. There are those 3 swords that are here, and now they are hanging over this person. It's a female figure, which is interesting in this 4 of Swords. Normally it's a male figure, a knight in the 4 of Swords. There could be a female figure who is in a little bit of trouble here too. That's just, by the way, that's energy that's coming through just because of the artwork on this card. So I'm just saying, that's interesting. We've already got a female figure here in the Four of Wands in reverse who looks, as I say, like a bit of a sacrificial offering. And perhaps the thought was that the wife was some kind of sacrificial offering as far as the royal family, and in particular the Knight of Cups was concerned. And so some motive there perhaps for some of this unpleasantness. And now we come to the Four of Swords in reverse. We've had the Four of Wands in reverse. Now that's the past energy, doing the searches, whatevering. Now we get the Four of Swords in reverse. That is reputational ruin. Very bad card for someone's reputation. For me as a tarot reader, that is how I consistently read that card, and it's showing up in the near future. And as I said in my very long preamble to this reading, has been made headlines all around the world, in all the big news sites, the reputable ones. It was lead story in a lot of them. And so there is the reputational harm already. They did try and deflect by announcing that ESPY award very quickly, but it only added to the drama, didn't it? And we'll look at that, of course, probably tomorrow. Let's have a look at Harry's attitude now to the law, to the legal process, to instructions to go and do these things by a judge. Let's see what he thinks about the truth, possibly even in this card now. Got the King of Swords. That's like an upgrade from the Knight of Swords there. The King of Swords is the legal process. It's judges, lawyers, the due process, the truth. The King of Swords upright is very much about the truth. It's giving me the idea that he might have thought that he was above the law, but the law has kind of asserted itself here with this King of Swords. The judge wasn't messing around. Judge Fancourt, I think, is the one. From the things that I've read, watched, whatever today. I was busy yesterday, unfortunately, couldn't kind of get to it. He wasn't messing around. He was expressing some very serious criticism of Harry and his legal team. And it's as if Harry, who might have thought, oh well, I'm a prince, I'm in America now, living my best life, I can get away with whatever. The law is saying, oh no, you can't. This card trumps the Knight of Swords. This card trumps that one. There it is. Pressure that Harry is under right now. The Star. I think that right now he really wants this all to go away. He's trying very hard. We see it in his PR and the little puff pieces I've been reading on recently on this channel. Wants to make up with Kate, as he calls her, Catherine, as I try to call her. Wants to surprise William and the King, Prince William and the King, show up and rattle at the gates of Buckingham Palace and force them to listen to him and take him back. We hear also from Neil Sean, and I will read on that as well, on my big long list of things to read on, that he is trying to or thinking of apologizing to Queen Camilla as well. That is the card of hope and healing. Restoring faith. The Star card. He wants this to go away. He wants it all to go away. But it's very difficult when you've sold your family down the river for 10 of Pentacles and betrayed them, 3 of Swords, in my opinion, as a tarot reader. So let's see hopes and fears for the has-been. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. He still thinks that there's a big payday in this for him. Ace of Pentacles. Big payday. He needs a big payday at this point, I'm sure. But he still believes that ka-ching. I don't think it's really landed. That what has landed is the damage that he has done to his relationship with his family. Or perhaps that there is damage. I don't think he realizes quite that he's done it. But I think it's dawned on him finally that they don't really like him anymore. Just finally noticed that. But it hasn't landed that the judge doesn't really like him very much. Tired of seeing him in his court, I should imagine. And go away, you. Almost getting to the stage of vexatious litigant. But Ace of Pentacles, where's that money you promised me, you lawyer with the big hair, in the south of France when I met you at Uncle Elton's house, mansion? And you promised me all that money. Where is it? I'm still hoping for it. She's still hoping for it. Outcome for Harry of this latest little setback. What's going to happen? Ooh, the Hanged Man. That's not good. That's someone being hung out to dry. That's someone being punished. That's someone being the fall guy for things. And lawyers might just wash their hands of him. And this is my wild speculation. I have no factual basis for this claim that I have just made, this speculation that I have just stated. None at all. But the lawyers might just think that this guy is just a mess. He's really costing us more than he's worth. I'm sure he's clocked up some huge bills. We're going to look at that next. They might just decide, he's too much trouble, and perhaps drop a minute. That's about as much as I want to say. That's just there in my thoughts. I read energy. That's what's come through. And as I say, it's just pure speculation on my part. But the Hanged Man is a victim. Is somebody who is powerless to defend themselves. They're being punished. The Hanged Man comes in the tarot in the major arcana after the Justice card. So justice is done, and then the Hanged Man is punished, and then after that comes death. So I'm not insinuating anything by that. I'm just explaining the narrative of the major arcana. And so here we have a card that follows after Justice. We've already seen Justice and the sword there with the King of Swords, and comes the Hanged Man afterwards. Hung out to dry, left alone. It's also a very alone card. Left alone to reflect, to contemplate, to think, oh dear, where did things go wrong? How did this go so badly wrong? It doesn't bode well. He might, at the very least, incur some sort of costs penalty. Something like that might happen to him that is going to make the case quite hard for him going forward, even harder than it already looks, in my opinion. And of course, all of this is allegedlys and all of that stuff. You know the drill. Disclaimer in the box below. That is it. It looks pretty bad, but I think we got some interesting insights. Pretty bad for Harry, shall we say. But I think we got some interesting insights about what's at the heart of this, what he might not want us to know about, what might have gone on and why, in terms of the evidence that's mysteriously disappeared. His attitude, I think, is changing here, but still wants his big money. Doesn't bode well for him though. Out there, isn't this an appropriate image for the has-been in California? There it is. He's aged a lot according to this card too, interestingly. And there it is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.